Welcome to Mosky and Friends. I'm David Moskowitz, a.k.a. Mosky, and I have a special guest today who's running for governor of Nevada. He is a professor of anthropology at the College of Southern Nevada. Please welcome Dr. Fred Conquest.
Oh, hi, David. Thank you for having me on the show.
Great to have you here.
Appreciate it.
So the first thing a lot of my viewers want to know is why you're running for governor and what makes you qualified.
Well, I'm running for governor because I think Nevada is the one state that has the most opportunity to become world-class in just about every category if we have good leadership and we all work together towards a specific goal to make Nevada great again, or to not borrowed from Trump, but to make Nevada better for everyone.
Absolutely. Now, how are you going to make it better for everyone?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say why I'm qualified. I have 2 PhDs. I was a CEO of a public company for 4 years. I worked 30 years in the finance field, mostly doing marketing and constructing business plans for public companies. And then I've been teaching at the College of Southern Nevada for going on 20 years. So I think I'm qualified in those areas. And I also had an insurance license for some 6 or 7 years where I sold a lot of health care and health insurance, so I kind of know that business. One of the projects we did when I was a CEO is we were part of the people who marketed wind turbines in Palm Springs, Altamont Pass, and in Tehachapi, so we were in on the first wind farms. I've done marketing programs for solar power stuff, and I've drilled oil wells. So I kind of know the energy business. And I also am really good at looking at a problem and coming up with reasonably simple solutions. Not every problem can be simply modified, but if you know how to look at them, that can help you figure out how to solve problems.
So what do you think about the new Raiders Stadium?
Well, I think the stadium and the Raiders moving to Las Vegas is a really good idea, but the way it was structured is a really bad idea. The citizens of Clark County and Nevada get absolutely no money from the Raiders for putting up $750 million of taxpayer money. It was structured badly. Most of it was bought and paid for by the Raiders buying off politicians. And I don't know if there's much we can do about it right now because it's already in a contract form. But it's not going to benefit us as much as anybody thinks it's going to benefit.
The main issues in the state of Nevada, I was looking at your website, and one of the main things, because you're a professor, is education. And, the state has a budget of, I believe, $2.3 billion, but we're still at the bottom of the barrel. So what will you do if you're governor, and a lot of people hope you are, what do you plan to do to rectify that situation, turn it around, the education system?
Okay. We spend 40% of our state budget on education. We're 51st in the U.S. If you throw in District of Columbia. But one of the things we need to do is we need to have a forensic audit of all of the education in Nevada so we know exactly where all of the money goes. We cannot solve the problems if we don't know where the money's going. In addition, 87% of the people who work for the education system in Nevada are administrators. And this is like way top heavy. So one of my plans would be as governor to drastically reduce administration, which will save us millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and put that money back into the classroom with higher teacher pay, more resources in the classroom, bring back after-school activities so students have something to do after school and not get in trouble, and in general, attempt to, and I'm pretty sure I can do it, make Nevada's education system world-class. It's not all that hard if you have the political will to do it. There are places on the planet such as Finland, New Zealand, Singapore, and even China, who have education systems that are world class. And all we have to do is borrow the best from them and tweak it to our circumstances and go from there.
Gotcha. Another issue that I went to your website that you espouse about is about the healthcare system in Nevada. So what do you see the problems there, and how do you want to rectify that?
Well, one of the problems in the healthcare is in Nevada, we are really short of doctors and nurses. We have probably the lowest rate per 100,000 in the whole country of doctors and nurses. We need to get more doctors to come here into Nevada, and we need to develop more nurses. But one of the real problems is we need a single-payer healthcare system somewhat similar to Switzerland. And it doesn't have to be a state-run program. Switzerland
how's it work there in Switzerland?
Well, in Switzerland, doctors get paid every 10 days. Okay, and today, if a doctor bills an insurance company, they might not even get paid for 6 months, 9 months. So their cash flow is marginal, and then they have to go borrow money, and it costs more money. They're using the insurance for people to charge more to make up for all the people who don't have insurance or are underinsured. On the other hand, the actual insurance has, because of Obamacare and insurance companies losing money because of how it was structured, people have deductibles and pay premiums that are exorbitant, and unless something drastic happens, the insurance company never has to pay a penny. So we need to sit down with all of the parties and the stakeholders in in healthcare, and we need to devise a system that works for everybody, that's affordable for everybody.
Speaking of affordable, you're talking about, we had talked during before the show about affordable housing. That's a big issue, isn't it, in the state of Nevada?
We don't have very much affordable housing. We are building thousands of upscale apartment buildings, and the average rent is about $1,300, $1,400 a month. But the minimum wage in Nevada is, $8.25, and if if your employer provides insurance, it's $7.25.
Wow.
So the average person couldn't not afford, even if there are two people working, could not afford a decent apartment.
Right.
And all that is going to do down the road is create more homelessness, and homelessness breeds more drug addiction, more depression, more violence, all of these problems. And we got to really work on that one right off the bat.
Okay, hold it right there, Fred. We're going to come right back after the break. More questions with my guest, Dr. Fred Conquest, who is running for governor of Nevada. Be right back. Welcome back to Mosky and Friends, back with my guest, Dr. Fred Conquest, a professor of anthropology at the College of Southern Nevada. Welcome back, running for governor of Nevada. I'm going to ask you about how are you going to bring back business and keep business in the state of Nevada?
Well, Nevada is a very interesting place because we have 45 million to 50 million visitors, tourists coming here every year. And there's no reason why those tourists can not be employees of businesses from out of state, out of the country, who have offices and operations here in Nevada. And my expertise in terms of business development is getting businesses and designing and structuring business plans so that businesses would want to do the plan. One of our problems in Nevada is the education system is so abysmal that most people with real money who want to come here to open businesses look at the education system and say, nope, so we have to fix that.
There's not a lot of qualified people then for some of those jobs.
Well, there's plenty of qualified people. The infrastructure, so to speak, is not up to world class.
Like the education system, yeah.
Right. Same thing with healthcare. But it should not be all that difficult considering there's money everywhere. Apple has $262 billion. So That's roughly 60 years worth of Nevada budget.
Wow.
So, and they're just one of many corporations with massive amounts of cash who we could get to come here, start businesses, build Nevada's economy if they had the right plan. Now, one of the problems in Nevada, and believe it or not, it's cheaper to start a business in California than it is to start a business in Nevada.
Wow. Who would have thunk?
Yeah. And before they raised the business startup fees with the corporation and the business license, we had something on the order of 300,000 domiciled corporations in Nevada. Most of them were incorporated here, but they did business all over the world. Once they made it 750, we lost 200,000 of those businesses. They went to Wyoming.
That's the fee, by the way, $750.
Right,
yeah.
And that's not all the fees, because you got to pay the if you're in the city tax, city license, county license.
Adds up.
But they nickel and dime you to death. And as governor, I'm going to do everything I can to get rid of the nickel and dime and lower taxes, such as we have a commerce tax, which is totally unfair to just about everybody in Nevada. We need to get rid of it. It only raised $189 million, which is, based on a $4.5 billion budget, not a whole lot of money. So getting business to come here is really important.
Connected to hemp is the marijuana. I know they're not the same thing. And so marijuana it is legal recreationally in Nevada. What's your take on that? And the industry and all the taxes it generates?
Well, it's generating significant taxes, but it also needs to have its regulations kind of tweaked, and we need to lower some of the taxes because they're really pretty exorbitant. However, since marijuana has been legal in Nevada, it has generated $80 million in taxes for the state of Nevada.
That's ever since it was initiated last July, right, 2017.
Right. And that money is sitting in the rainy day fund, and it was supposed to go to education.
Gotcha.
And my take on it is we don't need it to go to education. We have plenty of money in education. The problem with education is how do we spend it and who's spending it. But my plan with the marijuana money, or the marijuana tax money, is to create block grants. Every one of the 17 counties in Nevada gets $3 million every year from the state from the taxes generated by marijuana.
That's your plan, right?
That's my plan.
Divvy it up.
Yeah, and they can do whatever they want with it, short of stealing it. They can use it for education, healthcare, infrastructure, business development, because Nevada's rural area has been completely shortchanged by the state government.
Yeah, they just focus on the main areas, the metropolitan areas. Yeah.
And
Reno and Las Vegas.
That's where all of the land that we can develop is.
It's well known that the Republican Party in Nevada is very divided. There's internal friction. How would you, as governor of the state of Nevada, unify the party?
Well, one of the problems we have is that people are always looking at the specific issues in their fragmented versus issues. They're not really focused on winning elections. They're fighting over stuff in many instances that is fairly irrelevant. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it's irrelevant to solving the really pressing problems that we have of housing, education, healthcare, mental health, crime, infrastructure, the economy, all of those things. And as governor, the idea is to get everybody to work together for a common goal. The problem is we don't have a common goal. And as leader, I will put together programs of which everybody's going to benefit. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be equally beneficial to everybody, but in some ways, that's what makes things work. People have to buy into an idea and they feel that they're going to benefit from it, and you're not taking away anything from them.
Gotcha. Listen, we only have a minute to go, but I got to ask you before you leave, Fred, is about tourism, something you mentioned before. There's been an article in the newspaper about tourism. A lot of people don't want to come to Vegas anymore, being a nickel and dime, the parking fees now of many of the hotels. So what do you guys say to that? We just have a minute to go. Go ahead.
Okay, well, my take is the hotels and the casinos that are charging these fees, they're simply ripping off both the local people and the tourists, and eventually it's going to come back at them. And my take is, as governor, I appoint people on the gaming commission. And one of the things I would say to them is, if you want to pay people to pay exorbitant parking fees and exorbitant resort fees, we're just going to double the gaming fee, the gaming tax that you pay. And because it's really detrimental to the whole economy for them to do this. So that's basically where I stand on that issue.
Listen, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Dr. Fred Conquest, my guest. He is running for governor of Nevada. He's a professor of anthropology of the College of Southern Nevada. And where can they find you? Your website?
My website is conquestfornevada.com.
Conquestfornevada.com.
And it has pretty much all of my platform and ideas of what I'm doing. If you have any questions, just email me.
And they can donate money to your campaign as well. Thank you. Thanks for being here. See you next segment.